Share. Okay, just now I was mentioning about this old man, yeah. So so we're very glad that it can at least through our effort to save life. This is the stroke patient. He was on stroke 9 years. He need a clutch. When after 2 bottles, he can walk without clutch.
Cháu chào chú. Hôm nay cháu được biết là chú là
Lên tầng 1, lên tầng 4. Yeah, now you can see that he can walk without clutch. Yeah. Okay, and then we even have in Vietnam a few people just cannot walk totally. Then after a few bottles, they walk. Some is like cannot walk for 15 years. There's a 21-year-old boy. He suffered polio when he was like 5, 6 years old. Cannot walk for 15 years. And then after AKG, he can walk. Amazing, right? And then of course, this is Fatin. Fatin from Malaysia. She's 78 and very obvious. You can see after 1 month, her face is so much different. I mean, this is not cosmetic, right? This is food, but then this food reverse aging because she's older, so it can see the effect much faster, right? Very obvious. So her friend saw her and say, hey, what happened to you? How come so nice? She said she take AKG. Then she introduced to many people. Yeah. And this is her son. After the mother take, the son also take, right? And then the son, um, and then the son looks much younger, right? The son now looks much younger. So let me see. Okay. So you see, this is Safiro. Safiro just 2 weeks, very obvious. Yeah. So now his face is lifted, brighter. Last time was down, down. So because the autophagy take away the dead cells, that's why it's brighter, rosy, right? So this lady is from India, right? This is Suban's wife, 35 years old. She got a acne problem or the face problem for the last 20 years, and medications, equipments, and supplements also cannot help. And then this one after 3 months, right, looks so much better, right? Of course, super happy. It's a problem that cannot be solved last 20 years. And then India, some of the people, the face looks much better even after 1 week or 2 weeks because India most of the time has very critical conditions, especially like heat. Now India is having heat wave, right? Like 45, 50 degrees. Wow, terrible. So the whole face is like burnt. Yeah. So, and also the water, the pollution, the air might not be too good, right? So, this is another Indian friend. After 1 month, he lost a few kg. Cool, right? And then, of course, we got many, many testimony. Then we got thousands of such testimony, like people more lifted, more radiant, lesser wrinkle, lesser pigmentation, or the face growth, so get resolved. And then this is a very famous lady. She's 60 years old. On the left, you see, is a round auntie, right? Someone with wrinkle round. Now is like nice, slim face, beautiful, right? Look at least reverse aging by 10 years. So how much would you pay? A lot of people go for surgery, go for all the cosmetic microsurgery and things like that. So, but not only that, we have testimony on many, many medical conditions. We say 128 medical conditions including the normal chronic, we have five high, nowadays five high, not three, high cholesterol, high blood pressure, high sugar, right? Now you also have high uric acid, high triglyceride because of the modern food, right? Chronic, right? So we do have very positive effect on that. And then also we have things like eczema, psoriasis, no itchy. Psoriasis is very bad skin problem. I do have some people psoriasis problem, and vitiligo also. The face is pale, no, vitiligo white is a kind of problem, and Parkinson, dementia, kidney failure, heart problem, liver problem, knee problem, muscle problem, pain, and many. I'm not a medical doctor, so I cannot name all the 128 medical conditions, right? But we even have to more extreme life-threatening or saving life is like cancer and lupus. I do see some cancer PET scan. Yeah? Before, well, you can see the PET scan have the cancer cells, right? PET scan is the best way to scan cancer. That's what the doctor told me. After that, no more cancer trace. Amazing, right? But of course, we cannot say that it cured all medicine all sickness, because it depends on human body. Basically, we just go in and then it mainly bring up the NAD plus that you see in the video, and then it could produce the thing that we need in our body to reverse the condition, right? So we are not supposed to say it cure. If it helps the person reverse aging or reduce the medical condition, that's fine. That's his bless, yeah. So, but what we're saying that this is a nutraceutical food. It is prevention rather than cure. We are not medicine. We are not particular targeting to any diseases, but we could have positive effect on 128 medical conditions. Cool. So, and the testimony is inevitable. I think you can't get thousands of testimony just by faking out. No way. And then even for us, now we are in the market, we've seen hundreds of such cases. Those people who ever come in after 3, 5 bottles, we almost guarantee that no, everybody will look better, right? After I've seen for 1.5 years, I see everybody, even you don't resolve your medical conditions, you looks better. But who knows, inside you actually maintain very good conditions, right? Rather than your certain part of your body or certain organs, or you become a disease already. We say prevention better than cure. So like we send our car to service, right? I do drive a car, and every 6 months I holistically send my car to service because I don't want to like 2 years never send my car to service. Then after my car got this problem, that problem, my engine smokes, then I go and repair my car. That will be even more costly, right? And downtime. But human, if you don't prevent, if your certain organs like heart got problem, liver got problem, you got not even downtime. It's very costly and it's very painful. And certain thing you cannot just replace like spare parts, right? So we promote the idea of prevention better than cure. And this is a huge market, and a product of these effects and at this price is huge market, yeah. So we already have a big business around the world. That's why even like nine distributor, they get 100K per week by promoting the product and services. And we have over 500 what we call people reaching diamond levels, a few $1,000 a week. 2.5K to 100K per week is a large business, yeah. And we have a large group of active members. Basically, we just buy online. Yeah. So get back to your friends who invited you here. There is a private link to this e-commerce, and then you can use this private link with a reference code. You can sign up, and then you can buy using credit card, no, or using our point system. Buy, they delivered to your house, and you can just take it. Normally buy 5 bottles. We suggest a cost is 5 bottles. Don't only try one, because if you are normal, you try one, you may not feel it. Some people they may, sleep better. Yeah, I do. Even I try with 1 bottle, my sleep is better in the first month. My energy level is much higher and my bowel clearer. But some people they may not feel it, yeah. So, but try with 5 bottles. Yeah, 5 bottles. This is what we recommend. So I'm not going to go through some of this. I will skip because there is a business part. But today I'm going to go through with you more on the products. Why are we so fantastically good? So much different from other people? Is because this is a newfound scientific breakthrough. They find that AKG is much more better than NMM in terms of increasing NAD plus. Yeah. So then the question is, why is NAD plus? Right? NAD plus is something that more important to us than air. Is air important? Air is very important, right? Without air, you can live for how long? 3 minutes, 4 minutes, the most. But without Na plus, 30 seconds, we die already. So NAD plus is more important. It's called nicotine adenylate dinucleotide. But doesn't matter, you just know it's Na plus. It's the most important coenzyme in our body. It evolved in the repair of DNA, energize body, enhance metabolism, boost antioxidant, blah, 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 everything, right? Because our body, when we take in food, the food will decompose into all the molecular level into amino acid and whatnots, right? Vitamins, minerals, right? Then you will resynthesize into our body. You cannot take the meats from whatever you eat, the chicken meat or fish meat, right? Or you eat the rice, it grow into our flesh. It doesn't work that way, yeah? Yeah, it doesn't work that way. It decompose and then it reformulate to humans genetic material, right? So when you reformulate, you need a enzyme. Otherwise, they cannot have chemical reaction. Otherwise, you put all the meat together in the acid, it become human, all the peptides. It doesn't work that way, right? So you need a coenzyme. There are many coenzymes in our body. Na plus is the most important coenzyme. That's why we call it coenzyme number one. Without Na plus, most of the thing will reduce in production because there's no chemical reaction, no glue. Yeah. So the characteristic of Na plus is like that. When we are young, we are born with very high concentration. Let's say we say 100% concentration. So that's why we see baby, they are full of life. That's why we say Na plus is a flame of life, right? Na plus equals to life. When baby is born, their collagen is tremendous, round, rosy, red, right? And then they don't have white hair, they don't have wrinkle, and they got lots of energy. Why? Because they got very high Na plus. But Na plus drops as we age. They decay, what we call decay. Every 20 years, drop by 50%, about this rate. Yeah? So when you're 20 years old, your Na plus become 50%. That's where human starts to age, right? Because you only left with 50% Na plus, not enough to produce. Then the production of your collagen will be reduced. Your production of your testosterone, production of your insurance and everything. You have hormones, you got so many things in our body reduce, yeah. So when you're 40 years old, it dropped further to from 50% to 20%. 60 years old, drop from 25% to 12.5%. 80 years old, drop to 6.25%. So when we are very old and when we don't have Na plus, we basically died. But that is the best way to die because there one no sickness. You don't want to die when you have a lot of sickness like diabetes, stroke, all sorts of sickness, right? So, but when we are into the middle age, when our function drop, our immunity also drop, right? Our autophagy also drop, right? That's why we might start to have cancer cells growing. No, the autophagy cannot take them out. And when we're growing old, let's say Na plus drop, our insurance also drop, for example. Then we don't have enough insurance to break down the sugar. And if we eat the same amount of sugar, same amount of rice, same amount of sweets, but then on the other hand, our insurance drop, what will happen? We cannot dissolve the sugar, then become high blood sugar, right? Then we need to put insurance. Yeah, that's the problem. So same thing if we age already, our testosterone also drop. That's why our sex drive also come down, right? You cannot produce so much testosterone, right? Then men not able to function daily. Maybe you function weekly, correct? Yeah. So the main thing is NAD plus. So the key to resolve all this is not to fix all the 128 medical conditions. When you bring up NAD plus, it will bring up all the production in our body, and then it could reverse some of these medical conditions. Yeah, so I hope that this is clear. So when Na plus going, so AKG is found to be very effective to bring up NAD plus. So Na plus was discovered long time ago, 100 over years ago, but we cannot have a product that is oral consumption because Na plus is a very large molecule. So don't go out to the retail store to buy NAD plus. It doesn't work. It's marketing gimmicks. You eat already, zero conversion because it cannot be absorbed by your body. Just like you eat chicken meat, it cannot become your meat. You eat Na plus also cannot become Na plus. Na plus has to be through what we call precursor. That means indirectly, it takes something extra, then it bring out. So, and this is a very famous doctor. He's very well known and recognized in the world. He's Dr. David Sinclair. He has many YouTubes. You can go and watch his YouTube. Very good. But scientists talk, right? So he is the first person known to promote NMM. You know, the research many years and 10 years ago, they published some papers. And then known NMM, after you're taking consumption for 6 months, you can reverse aging 6.5 years after the oldest person, yeah, the oldest person, because Na plus low, then you can reverse, yeah. So, and then this is the first time in history that human can reverse aging after no 10 many thousand, right? Very famous. He's 50 plus, but he looks like 40 plus. Why? Because he consumed NMN for long 10 over years. Cool. But lately he also talked about AKG. He promote AKG in his Twitter, right? Because after 10 years, they find that AKG is able to increase NA plus much better because it directly interact with our longevity genes called sirtuin 1 to 7. Yeah, so directly interact and then NAD go up. And also AKG will give us energy called ATP into our mitochondria in our cellular level. That's why you feel energy, right? Energy is good, then you can do exercise or you got more energy, not lethargic. But internally, when you produce all the thousands of chemicals, elements that we need in our bodies, biological elements, you also need the energy, right? So, and then GnAKG. So that's why in terms of the supplementation, we sort of categorize, say that AKG is the fifth generation. Yeah. The very first generation, what I call basic nutrients, like protein. Last time before First World War, they don't even have enough food, right? So they don't have enough protein. So you take some protein, is good. Yeah, you need basic protein, yeah. Then it can form into amino acid into a peptide, then build our muscles, yeah. So the second generation is when they found what is vitamins, what is minerals, and that lasted for many years. The third generation is where they find that certain formulation is better for certain part of organs, or that's where stem cells start to come in, SOD start to come in, peptides start to come in, right? There's a third generation, more advanced than the single vitamins and minerals really, yeah. So many companies thrive during that time. When you found one category of product that is very effective, it thrives because human all needs all treasure health very well, right? And then the fourth generation, which is represented by NMM, and also you saw the video have PQQ, and these are all precursor to increase our NAD plus. Yeah, and then the fifth generation, which is AKG, it can increase much better, like a few times better than NMM. And then with our formulation, we are much better. So that's why we say we are 5G. So when you have 5G products, do you still want to go back to 2G, 3G, 4G product, just like phone, right? Because and then you can Google, you can ChatGPT. Many people doesn't know what is AKG yet. Just like NMM, after 10 years, then people start to hear a bit here and there. It takes a while, no? It takes a decade for the market to know what is it. Same thing for AKG, right? So people don't know AKG is normal. So you just check Google, ChatGPT, you can find quite a lot of information on AKG, reverse aging, much better than NMM. Cool, right? So, and then of course, then we are the forefront in terms of AKG. Why? Because we have 18 formulas, 18 ingredients inside, special formulation. Yeah. So can people produce AKG product? Can they can write AKG, they can write, but whatever. But then the main thing is that the result has to be good, right? Otherwise, I tell you, no, I'm also AKG, no good. What for? Why are we so good? Because we are unique. First of all, we are made in USA. That makes a difference really because the quality of the AKG is different. We are calcium-based AKG and we have high dosage. Just these three that make us very different from most of the AKG in the market already. right? But we are much better than that. Yeah, we have 18 formulation inside. The scientists actually study and experiment and see what combined with what is the best for our body, because the body very complicated. There are many systems inside. So basically I tell people five. Yeah, forget about 18. You cannot even remember 18. Yeah, just remember five. Yeah. First of all, we have AKG. Secondly, we have a thing called galactomannan. It's like probiotic. It cleans our guts. Because the first thing is that you need to cleanse your guts so that the AKG can be effectively being absorbed by our body and then go into our cells. If AKG cannot even be absorbed, you whatever you take also no use, right? So this is to cleanse our guts. That's why most of the people, maybe 20-30%, when you take AKG already, you actually flush out your system. You flush out all the black things, all the oily things, which is good, right? You want to detox, you want to cleanse, yeah? So it's a bit like probiotic. And then we have the all the vitamins there to combine to make it very effective. And then we also have a best fruit in the world. You know what is the best fruit in the world? It's berries, blueberry, yeah, with phyroxybe inside. Blueberry is very expensive. When you go and buy blueberry, wow, it's like 10 US dollar per small pack, you know. And then in our AKG inside got so much berries extract, right? So that's why some of the experts say, wow, you got phyroxybe inside. Ooh, very expensive. Yeah, okay. And then we also have what we call fistine. Fistine is curcumin. It's like yellow ginger. Also very good for anti-inflammation. So phyroxybe and fistine very good for anti-inflammation and very good antioxidants. Yeah. So we put in this, the effect is so much better. So in a way that we explain to people, it's like that. The day I heard someone explain, yeah. You know, when you wash face, right? You do what you want is the essence go into your face, right? But if you apply essence, the essence cannot go into your face directly. Why? Because you need to cleanse first. Otherwise, your face, the essence cannot go in. So we need to cleanse. What do we use to cleanse? We use galactomannan to cleanse. So, take away all the dirty things in our body. Then we can absorb. Then after that, you need to balance it using toner. Toner to balance. If you're not balanced, you put essence also cannot absorb well, right? So we have the balancing, which is using all the vitamins and all the phyroxybe fixing to balance it. We cleanse, we balance. Yeah, we take away all the oxidation there, because when there's a lot of oxidation, your cells is not in a good state to absorb. Your cell is very disturbed, or cell is inflamed. Basically, inflamed, how to absorb? Cannot absorb, right? Yeah, so we balance it until very nice cell. Very nice cell. Then the AKG go in effectively to our 30 trillion cells. Yeah. So we are not replacing a group of cells. We are going to all our 30 trillion cells. Sometimes when you take supplement, it just replacing some part. No, you replace some calcium, but your body got so much calcium. Like you replace some stem cell. Your body has 30 trillion cells. How can stem cell replace all the 30 trillion cells? Because the stem cell you take also cannot be so much. You take so much, is your kidney and your liver will be working very, very hard. All right. Okay. So we are taking this food, all natural foods, using the cleansing, balancing, and replenishment, right, to effectively go in. And all these are very, very good ingredients. And the scientists actually research it. Can other people produce AKG? Yes, they can. Have we seen any other AKG as close as even our Higo? No. I am in the forefront of the market. Whenever the people that A company, B company, A product, B product, they will tell me, hey, yeah, I say I will check. Well, after we check, oh, okay, no, nowhere near. And do other company has even as close testimony as us? No, don't have. Right? Cool. So not only our science is strong, our scientific background is strong, our manufacturing is strong, our sales is strong, and then we got so many testimony. Cool. Right. Of course, other
Anh,
product also good. We never say their product is no good. Our product very, very good. Just like car, right? I would say no prejudice. BMW and Mercedes are considered very good, like we say, high-end car, not the Lamborghini or whatever, but high-end car. So, other company, if you are Toyota, also good because Toyota is the number one seller in the world. But when you compare to BMW and Mercedes, you know there is a difference, right? The price is also different, right? So now we are selling Toyota and BMW kind of category at no BMW and Mercedes kind of category at Toyota price. So you think the market will be big, huge, and very useful for people. Cool, right? So that's why just now I show you thousands of testimony. You can go back to your friends. Oh, we can talk here like few hours. Cannot finish. You got so much videos and so much photos. Yeah, right. So we could have testimony on 128 medical conditions. So with this, the market is huge because that's what I mentioned already. Whenever in the last 100 years, whenever there's a new category, it produces a very strong company, billion dollars company. But we think that this is not only billion, this is trillion dollars market. Because if you can have a product of such category better than NMM and effective and tested by the market and at much lower price, what do you think the market will be? Just like just like a handphone, right? I mean, 1980s we start to have handphone, those big bar. Then we got that's 1G. Then you got 2G, 3G, 4G, 5G. And then now everybody has a handphone. Some people have two, right? The penetration of handphone in the world is more than 100%, right? So same thing, we think that this AKG, the penetration will start to go into mainstream because no longer there are like few $1,000s. NMM time there was few $1,000s. So now it's like much better than NMM, but at a reasonable price, right? We think maybe 10% of the people in the world could possibly consider it. That is really a huge market, no? Huge market. So you do your math, will be trillion dollars business. So not only let us to be younger, not only let us to be healthier, maintain, not reverse aging, but could be a very, very good business as well, right? That's why we are promoting it, promoting online, share it with our friends and family. When they start to buy online, that's where we get certain commission, right? So of course, the commission part, I will not talk about it today, and then leave it to watch our Zoom. We have a very good Zoom last week, a bit long, but we talk about four parts. We talk about the commission part, the company, the products, and the system. Yeah. So, and this company is very good because the first 2 years could be a danger zone. You don't know whether product is good or the market is good or no, they got any challenges. But then after 1, 2 years of validation, yeah, everything is fine. So whatever certifications or whatever testimony, right? So we think this is prime to grow. So that's why they grow to a few countries already. The aim is to grow to 50 countries in 5 years. Yeah. So I just wrap it up. So this is a great opportunity. Grab the opportunity, seize the future. So I just ask, no, summarize it to ask you maybe 3 questions. Yeah. So get back to your friends who invited you here. Ask them more questions because this is just a short video. May not be able to answer all your questions. So the first question is that if a product can reverse aging, that what I mentioned just now with such strong science, no, and such strong testimony, can reverse aging 8 to 34 years, would you want it? Right. Okay. And then can you afford to miss it? Right. And then if a product that can help your family looks and feel 10 to 20 years younger, do you want it? Let's say, your parents, my mother is 93, right? I can have this product, let her take. I am very happy, give her energy, bring up her energy plus, no, increase her various production of the phytonutrients that she need in her body, right? And then if an opportunity to be part of a trillion dollars industry, right, would you grab it? So get back to your friends to find out more information and then try out the product. Like you can just get the link from your friend, okay, and then just sign up and then you can order through online. They'll deliver to your doorstep. And then if you want to find out more information, you can join our Higo Global. This is a Higo Global chat group, right? You can come in chat group. If you have any questions, you can ask them. I think your friends or whoever that bring you here should be inside the chat group as well. So I'm going to just put the chat group code into the chat. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to stop here. Let me just put to the chat. Okay. So I think it's a good overall cover, but unfortunately just now there was a break, so I don't know whether the video can be done properly. It can be done properly. That's why it cannot be done. Maybe we can have another session just on the product. Then I can invite some people to do testimony next week. I'm going to stop the recording just to keep this short, right? And then very glad that we go through, right? Why is this product, so amazing, right? This is the pinnacle of life science. So it could exceed your exceed your expectation, go beyond your wildest imagination, because never in life we see such a thing. But don't take my words as granted. Go and do ChatGPT, go and check Google and check what is AKG, and then do your own research. Yeah. So I'm going to stop the recording.